Oh, sookie now. Hell yeah. I know my dogs are watching. And if you ain't, I know you will be. And if you are watching and you ain't my dog yet, you will be. Thanks for tuning in to the Git Bizzy Livin podcast. My name is Swede, and I'm going to help you get busy living. Excited about month 4 of the Git Bizzy Livin Project 55, which 55 months of at least one epic adventure every month. But we're going to update you on the purpose of this podcast today, the mission of the HSWA, including my personal health journey, offer some perspective on how we plan to help you get busy living with us. But first, nothing's worth having if it ain't worth sharing. So allow me to introduce my spectacular co-pilot. Without further ado, help me welcome an entrepreneur out of Los Angeles, author of and star of UnblawYourself.com, one of my all-time favorite humans, the dazzling Diana D. Rex Eckstein.
You make me sound so impressive. Thank you. I'm happy to be here as always. We have a lot of cool stuff to talk about today. And we mostly have all this cool stuff to talk about because we have had no time to talk about it beforehand. So I'm really excited to dig into it with you right now.
Spontaneity, baby. That's how I operate.
Wow, you have been really burning the candle at both ends lately.
Yeah, I can't say that the spontaneity is on purpose. Honestly, we've talked about being overprepared, and it is an aspiration of mine to get better. But man, I just have so much on my plate. And here's the thing, all bullshit aside, I can handle a lot on my plate. It's the steady stream of collateral issues that come with the spinal cord injury that steal time from me all so often. Like I can't exaggerate this. It's seriously like I've been in the emergency room twice in the past 10 days. And on 4 different occasions, I've had to park out next to my oven and put a blanket over my head and turn the oven on so to blast me with heat so that the sweating that happens from my autonomic dysreflexia that causes me to get super cold doesn't force me into shivers, which then leads to muscle convulsions, which leads to headaches. And the bottom line is just the sweating itself is enough to force me to park by the oven and impair me. And when that happens, it's basically game over for the day because it like exhausts me. Blasting me with that heat.
I don't think people realize all the extra things you have to do. It's not even really just about being in a chair or whatever. There's all this extra stuff on top of that, and you getting your degree and all this other things that pop up along the way. It's not like getting a degree is enough for people to be really busy, right? And this is just so much extra. I think that a lot of people don't realize. So I think that this would be a really great day for you to share what a normal day is like for you. A normal day, meaning not like a great day, not a bad day, just an average.
How about today?
Okay. What happened today?
Well, now that I'm on the spot, you're forcing me. Remember, I fell and bumped my head. My memory don't work quite like it used to. Okay. But today wasn't very long ago. So what did I have happen today? Well, I woke up for the first time in a long time without feeling extremely heavy about all of the school I have to do because I've already taken a couple the final steps for a couple classes signed, sealed, and delivered. I still have several that I have to close up, but man, instead of carrying basically the weight of like 5 classes and a couple lingering issues, I'm only carrying the weight of 4 classes and no lingering issues. So
that's really good news.
So that today was actually kind of pleasant to wake up to. Yesterday, whole different ballgame. And the day before that, I was on my way to the emergency room. So, like I can tell you this, that might be something interesting. I dropped my phone on the way in here today, and it took me 15 minutes to pick it up. And I had a spin there for a solid 3 weeks where I didn't drop my phone once. And man, I was like thinking that this little pouch that you built me here that I used to keep my phone when I'm like, if I'm doing something where I cannot, like I'm not going to be using it at all and I cannot afford to drop it, I put it in there. It's the safest place. But it is kind of difficult. It is kind of difficult to get in and out of there. So I don't use it as often.
Mhm.
It's not easy like putting it in your pocket. I wish it was. It's just,
Yeah, we'll find you a different pocket there.
I'm telling you. But it's just an example. I lost 10
Yeah.
minutes. I lost 10 minutes.
Yeah. People drop their phone all the time. It doesn't take them 15 minutes to pick it up. So yeah, you're dealing with a lot more. It's not just twice. It's more like
Well,
15 times more.
what was it in that text? I texted you something that was an example of that. Maybe that's why it's on your mind. Texted you something recently that was like, imagine.
It's just crazy. All of the little things that we take for granted, like on a daily basis, are a real bother and a time suck for you. And I think that when these things happen, go ahead and say, because I think that it's hard to understand unless we hear it directly from you. Like I only know because I've seen it for myself.
Well, like this message. Can you imagine your life if you were stuck in bed regularly until 11 a.m.? And then it took you nearly an hour to brush your teeth and get dressed, and that didn't include a daily shower, nor a regular visit to the gym or to work out, or getting to choose what you are having for breakfast on a whim, like what you're in the mood for. Like I don't get to go to my pantry and be like, oh, let me see what I want, or my refrigerator. Oh, what do I want for? No, I don't do any of that. I lay there until I get helped, and then as soon as I'm out, by the time I'm out, I, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many of us would be thriving. Don't get me wrong, man. I've made a lot of progress, and Brother Doug has helped me in so many ways. So this is not uh,
Well, the reason
a
I'm bringing
complaint
this
session.
up is because no, it's not a complaint session. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because earlier today, you had to run. You had to run all the way across the city to hurry up and go do something. And you said, man, thank goodness I have a car. And, that moment of gratitude was just so cool to see because I
Mhm.
had known what a frustrating morning you had. And it just got me thinking about just being thankful for the little things, and that is no little thing. Having a car is a huge thing, but just remembering to be thankful is a big deal when you've got all these other things weighing on you. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember. I was like, "Do you want the good news or the bad news?"
I do. Nobody likes that on a phone call,
You were
Nobody.
like, "I don't want any news. Never
No,
mind. Abort,
go
abort."
away. Get off the phone. Yeah.
I want no
Nobody
news.
wants that.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
what did I say was the bad news? The bad news I said was
that you
that,
had to run across town.
yeah, that my doctor, so getting doctor's appointments and having opportunities to see someone that is taking your condition seriously is extremely difficult. Like it's different when you have a cold. There is a assembly line like process that we all fall into, like the Pink Floyd video of the wall. Like if you want to go to the hospital or the gas station or the electric company, you're just going through the system. It's predetermined, and for me, needing a doctor, I get put into the same line that everybody else that has standard operating procedure like stuff needs. But so to get specialized attention, I'm learning is the hardest thing I've ever done. I've changed careers a couple of times in my life. I've been really good at a couple things, and I've done a lot of things I wasn't very good at. So I know what it's like to start over and to like have to persevere. But learning how to get help from the system has been the hardest thing, the most frustrating thing, because it's a put on hold, fight for your life over the phone with people who really don't give a shit lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is
Oh shit,
difficult.
Groms is in the house. What's up,
Yeah, check it
dog? Oh, it's
out.
Jamie. What's up, girl?
It's
Sorry, I just saw
Aunt
Gromley.
Aunt Jamie. Hi,
Aunt
Aunt
Jamie's
Jamie.
in the house. So hey,
Lori's
Lori.
here.
Hey.
Tasha's here. Just shouting out everybody who's here. Hello, nice to see you. I was really just struck by your gratitude earlier, and that kind of got me thinking about when when we were going on our Florida trip, and I had all of those flight misfortunes.
Oh,
It
good
was just
Lord.
it was the biggest mess I had ever been in travel wise. And it was causing me to scramble every which way. And And it was really an uncomfortable time. But the silver lining that I pulled out of that for myself is at least I don't have a toddler with me, you know? That like I can handle anything
It's funny
because I don't have a toddler.
As you're on your as you were calling me, and I was, basically going to be leaving Scooty Wells' house to come get you with the most beautiful toddler on the planet. But yeah,
Oh yes,
that was your angle. And
well, yes, he is a very pleasant toddler. And people will see next week when we show the Florida recap video.
yes,
But something that I wanted to show this week was how I pulled myself together after receiving all sorts of crazy news. Like I had missed my airplane. This is like no fault of my own. And I was trying as hard as I could. Missed my airplane. There was no other airplane. I had accidentally exited security. So now I was outside the airport. They were not going to let me back in. I needed a new ticket. There was so much. Yeah, it was madness. And I had to pull myself together after I got a new ticket. I sat down on the floor, I had to regroup. It was 7:00 at night. And I just thought, I can't just sit here. I can't just sit here and be like, especially since on the phone, you're like, you got to get down to the Strip. And I was like, no,
I know, man. You can't have a layover in Vegas and get screwed out of a flight and not take advantage of the fact you're in Vegas. Of all the places on earth, like nobody likes getting screwed out of a flight. Nobody likes being stuck anywhere. But every time you're stuck, you're like, man, I wish this wasn't such a boring fucking place to be stuck in. You have the place where entertainment is the most, world-class, top-notch, and a lot of cheap entertainment. In the airport, you could practically walk to the Strip from the airport. You were going to not leave the airport?
I was just in such a way where it was really hard for me to recover, But you were on the phone, you're like, you got to get down to the Strip. You got to see a show. And this is not my mode. I don't even like Vegas. I did not want to see a show. All I had was a warm salad that I needed to eat. And I needed to think, And then once I ate my warm salad and I thought, I went down to the Strip and had an adventure. And what I'm going to show you now is my adventure before I went to Florida. Are you ready for this?
Bring it on, Mama. I can't wait to see it because I've heard the stories.
I'm stuck on the floor in Las Vegas for the night. So I put on my big girl pants and ate my salad, and now I can think. I'm just sitting here on the floor. And since it's only like 7:00 at night, I think I might have to make my way down to the Strip. I'm gonna go catch an Uber and Git Bizzy Livin. Well, Swede told me I should go see a show.
Okay.
This is what you do. This is what you do in Vegas. You walk and walk and walk. I don't know. Swede, what did you get me into now?
I don't even know where I'm walking to anymore. I'm just walking.
Oh, look. CBS is popping.
Look, it's a fake New York. Oh, the roller coaster goes through here. Alrighty. I don't even know where I'm walking to anymore. I'm just walking.
I have been all around this fake New York here. I was gonna look for some lady who was by herself and go hang out with her, but I can't find anyone. I can't find a lady who's by herself besides me. I'm gonna keep looking. Let's see what happens. I got kind of lost in there. I couldn't find my way out. I guess I'm just gonna walk around the Strip. I was hoping to see this roller coaster. I don't know. This is more my speed. I love it. I just figured if I'm in an Irish place, I gotta get Irish cider, right? So I found this little Irish pub and it's awesome. And I found these wonderful ladies to hang out with here. We're having a nice drink and we're having a fire.
A nice quiet spot.
I know, we're relaxing in Vegas. It's wonderful.
Yes, I'm so proud of you. You're getting busy living in Vegas.
I never thought I would.
That is
I,
awesome.
I really
How
didn't believe I could enjoy myself. I was going down there with a little bit of a sour attitude, but I
how
ended
much
up
more
having a
perfect?
nice time.
That is awesome. Oh man, that makes me want to send you all over the place. All right, where are we sending D-Rex next? Let's open her up. Tijuana? Wait a minute. Bangkok? Uh-oh. Oh,
No.
suki now. Have you ever been to Thailand, T-Rex?
No, nope.
Ooh. You want to judge. Let's
I've
go.
been I've been
Let's
very
go.
few places, so
Well, luckily for you, we are in month 4 of 55. All right. So we want to get to the point where this chat room is full of family and friends, and people are saying where they want us to go next because they're either going to be there or
mhm,
because they want to
mhm,
see there, you know?
mhm.
So as we have spent this past couple months, just kind of really just practicing getting used to like this environment and the process of setting up and all this kind of stuff. But
Mhm.
once now we're starting to approach the point where we're getting serious, right? And think about all the stuff we've had to go through to get here. Like you
There's
just
been a
caught
lot.
footage of you making the best out of a bad situation, but isn't that the story of a lot of our lives? Making the best out of a bad situation,
Well,
you
one
know?
would hope that we would. We try, right? We don't
Well,
always do that.
well, for the two of us, coming, I mean, there's so many that's something that can be zoomed in and zoomed out. Like overall in life, making the best out of a bad situation. Or, for me, the past 5 years, which by the way, we're 10 days away from 5-year anniversary of the last time So resolve, right? That's what we're talking about. And
Mhm,
you sent me the
mhm.
definition earlier. And I remember that we were talking about it a little bit beforehand and trying to, it was obvious that we had different ideas about the word. So do you have
Mhm.
that definition handy
Yeah, yeah,
for,
yeah. I was thinking of it more like determination. And the
yes,
dictionary says a definite and earnest decision. And then you can also think of resolving something like finishing it,
yes,
coming full circle, right?
absolutely. And to me, if you remember right before that, we were talking about the fact that I was having this day, and I offered you good news or bad news, and I said the bad news was coming back tangent wise. If you've hung out with me before, you know that I do the tangent thing. But going back to talking about the doctor, finding a doctor thing. So doctor called me out of nowhere, and they're like, "Hey man, we can get you in tomorrow, 8:30." And brother Doug was helping me get dressed, and I could tell he was like 8:30 because that means he has to get up super early,
Right.
like a
Uh-huh.
long, and it's an hour away. So
Mhm. Mhm.
and they're like, "Oh, by the way, you have to bring the medication with you, like for them to try this procedure."
Mhm.
And so I had to get up and bolt out of here. Regardless, it didn't matter if I have a final today. It doesn't matter if I have an exam.
Yeah.
It's a doctor. It's medicine they need tomorrow, and I got to go get it.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
And so the bad news was on a last minute call, back and call, I had to jump up and motivate. And so that was the bad news. Like, man, I got scheduled a doctor's appointment when I have an exam tomorrow that I need to study for. I have already stuff on my plate, but it's
Mhm.
last minute. If I don't
Mhm.
take advantage of this opportunity, poof, I get put back at the end of the line, and it's like,
Right.
so I'm such a slave. I'm such a slave to this aspect of the system. Many of us are such slaves to the big picture aspect of the system. And for me, when we were talking about what happened, my reaction was fucking motivate and go do it. And I said the good news
Yeah,
is
I
I have a
heard that in
car
your
now.
voice.
I have a
Mhm.
car now. So I don't where it would have taken me literally for me to go from Gilbert, Arizona up to this pharmacy that I had to go to and to get home, it would have taken me 30 minutes to get to the bus stop, which sometimes takes an hour because if you just missed it and oh by the way that one is canceled, which has happened to me many times. So now it could be up to an hour and a half before I'm even on the bus. And then that bus ride is another 2 hours before, well, from here, I guess 45 minutes to the train and then the
Mhm.
train to another bus. So we're talking like 45 minutes each segment.
Oh, not only that, Phoenix is so hot.
Yeah, luckily today it's not. But talking about my
Right.
former life,
But yeah,
transportation, yeah,
I
that's a
can't
very real
imagine.
threat for me. That's a very real life threat.
No.
Not bummer. Not man, gas is 10 cents cheaper or more expensive. It's a real life threat for me to have to go through an hour and a half of fighting with the sun here to get on a public transportation to get up to this pharmacy to get this medicine that I have to have tomorrow for this last minute, really golden egg opportunity to see a doctor that will take me seriously.
I heard the resolve in your voice though. You're like, I'm going. And yeah, there was no choice there. You were going. Hey, I want to very quickly say, look who's here. Hey, Ann.
Sicka now. Ann's in the house. You
Listening
have
with
no
your kiddo.
idea how many times we've had conversations about you. You are long overdue.
We are going to visit you.
Yes.
And you know what? You picked a really good kind of a PG show to tune into today.
Don't worry,
Maybe,
I got some things in store.
maybe the Florida show recap next week is not the show, but but we're happy to see you. And let's get back to this topic of resolve. I just felt like it was such a big thing that I was on the phone with you, and I was like, I don't even want to talk about this with you right now because we would just totally never be able to get off the phone. So we're literally like on the phone right now. What you guys are going to see is how Swede and I cannot get off the phone about things because this is a super inspiring topic. How does someone pick up the pieces and get the resolve to fix whatever they can and move forward? Huge topic.
Which is exactly the angle that I was preserving for when I said let's talk about that later.
Yeah.
Because you were not seeing the dots getting connected. Where I was saying how they are kind of similar about you because your next comment when I said at least I have a car, so that I have to go through this 3 hours to get there and 3 hours to get home and have my entire day wrecked. I have a professor, a teacher's assistant that has questioned my disability and questioned my professionalism because I've had unfortunate incidents. And I'm like, bro, just because you're disabled doesn't mean you feel my pain. You don't know what this is like. That stole an entire day. That doctor that I have opportunity to see tomorrow doesn't care about what my school agenda might be today. So I have to go do it. And I was like, and I was talking and you were like, because I was talking about having a car and how thankful I was. And you're like, this is interesting because until you have been through something, you don't appreciate certain things. The fact that I had been through this public transportation dilemma is why I'm over here thanking the heavens with a leaky face about having a car. And most people just jump in their car and like, I fucking hate this car. No, man, I have to go here. I have to drive for 30 minutes to go I'm not coming to see you. You're 45 minutes away.
Right.
It was 3 hours to get there, 3 hours to get back. My whole day shot if I didn't have this car.
Yeah.
And people who
when
have
when
nice
you had
cars.
this car, I was just blown away. I was just so happy for you because I knew how much this was going to change your life. And the fact that you're still not taking it for granted is great because we have a tendency as humans to get used to things, right?
Absolutely. And that's where when you said that, you have to go without something in order to appreciate it. My definition of resolve is just that. Going through something, having solved it, and having the experience that you have been confronted with an impossible situation and that you have a track record of getting through it. So even when you don't know how you're going to get through it, even when you don't have any idea that it's possible to get through it, just knowing that you have been confronted with other things that you had no idea how you were going to get through and didn't think they were possible to get through, but you're here and you're through it and it hurt and it sucked and you suffered, but you're scarred and stronger. And to me, resolve is that. It is having resolve is having actually the effect of resolve, I suppose you could say, is knowing that you've been there before. And so now you have resolve. It doesn't matter what confronts you. You know that you don't know how, but it's not going to kill you. And
Yeah.
if you have confidence in yourself, you always got to believe. Always got to believe. Without belief, there's no beef. You got to believe. And but knowing that you've done it before, that's how I said. So, even so, having that experience of been through shit and having the shit wash off and you clean and don't smell anymore, is to me the resolve. It's having the resolve, the experience of having done it before. So you say when you have something happen like this, hey girl, hey,
Hey Louise.
if any of you guys have seen the thumbnail for this week's episode, this verse 13 we call it. That's D-Rex and Tyden and Louise Wells.
Oh, I
Speedy
haven't even
Wells,
seen
that
it
is
yet, but I know the
family.
picture.
So the thumbnail says, "Why even try?" Why even try is because you have been there before, and you're better off now than you were. And so there's always the possibility that it can get worse. But you just have to believe. You have to have faith. You have to have resolve that it can get better. And that's when you come to the Git Bizzy Livin podcast, we hope that you'll pick up tidbits of inspiration, a little bit of enlightenment, and hopefully some excitement. And it will help you to become more purposeful and deliberate and have a more intentional idea about how to execute life. That's why we titled it Git Bizzy Livin. And we talked last week about how doing that, it's not just being busy. It's not just having a pulse. It's talking about deliberately getting busy, purposeful, living, being alive, and actually vibing like you're alive.
I would like to add something to that. And I think that part of Gittin Bizzy Livin is being less afraid that things could go wrong, because things going wrong is part of the adventure of things. It's part of the adventure of the journey. Like that trip to Vegas, I would have never ever done that, right? But that was the result of things going wrong, and I turned it around into something that was actually kind of fun for me. And, I don't know if people know this about me, but for many years, I was a music producer, musician my whole life. And there's something called dynamics. And dynamics is the volume of the music, really. You can play very softly and then suddenly get loud, or you can slowly get loud and then soft again. And it's just, that's what makes music good. It adds interest, like if you played Fairy Lease extremely loud the whole way through, everybody would hate it. And dynamics are important. And I feel like life has its own dynamics, and that's your crappy days and your good days. And it's really hard to sit in your good days and be like, man, I'm so happy to be here, if you didn't have those crappy days. It really gives you perspective. Imagine if you lived your whole life in comfort, given
I love
everything
that you use
wanted.
the word perspective.
Well, it's like you have to come from somewhere to know what that's like. Imagine you just lived in comfort your whole life. And what can you see from there? All you see is that you're afraid of losing your comfort. But when you actually lose your comfort, you realize it's not the end of the world. And it could be as bad as falling through a roof, And it's still, there's so much good to life. We just traveled to Florida and talked and hung out with really great people, and our hearts were full. Yet you are a guy who fell through a roof, broke his back. Like it's hard to get worse than that. And here you are, smiling and having a good time and a good life. We're having a good time.
Damn right. We're getting busy living. And so if you want to get busy living with us, go to hello@gitbuzylivin.com and let us know where you want the Git Bizzy Livin project to go in the Project 55. So we've got month 1 was the Grand Canyon. I did some mountain biking there. Who'd have thunk back when I was fighting for breaths that I'd be riding a mountain bike in the Grand Canyon less than 5 years later?
That was
You know,
amazing.
month 2, Hollywood and Halloween with the hilarious Latasha Turner and Melissa Simmons. And
Hey, I was there.
what was her name again? D-Rex.
Heck yeah.
Number 3, who would have thunk? Think about this. Think about Gittin Bizzy Livin. Think about how many people that are going to see these or hear these words someday. And they're like, man, I can't do that. I can't go to the Grand Canyon, man. I can't go to Hollywood, man. I can't do this. I can't do that, you know? And then think about you, D-Rex. Think about the version of you that existed not too long ago that was like, I can't come to Flagstaff on a whim.
I'm not that kind of person.
Or think about what the version of you that was saying no to Flagstaff on a whim would have said to going to Florida with me for Thanksgiving. And think about how many other people that are out there have an identical commitment, because there's reasons that you're that way. I'm not trying to rape anyone of their morals. Okay. There are reasons you're committed to your life, you're committed to your job, you're committed to your family, you're committed to your obligations, and you feel like spoiling yourself by doing stuff like that. So a lot of people have virtuous reasons for not getting busy living yet. I'm not trying to hate. All right. But when you have that spirit where you're open and willing to figure out a way, you know, like, man, my bills are barely paid. I can't go hang out with you for a weekend, or I know you're in town, Swede, and I haven't seen you in 7 years, but I can't go down to that place right now. I got too much going on. I got a lot on my plate, buddy. You know how many of those text messages I got while I was in town in Florida? I got a lot on my plate, buddy. Okay, look, I got love for all you people, even the ones that weren't able to come see me. But man, this girl, Peter Pants in the Las Vegas airport.
Oh, you're going to out me like that? Okay, so I'll tell the story. I had to run so hard for my airplane, and it was so far that by the end of it, I ended up peeing my pants. And I still missed my plane. So I had to stand there and have that lady tell me right to my face, who just closed the door, I cannot reopen that door. I'm like, I just peed my pants for this. You got to reopen the door. And she's like, I cannot. So that's the story.
Ridiculous.
And story.
So I've taken a couple tangents. I want to come back to them. One of the tangents that I was talking about was about hello@gitbizylivin.com. Because we're going to need a social media manager, somebody that's good at this kind of stuff, because we need
to get the word out.
I want people that have been part of the Git Bizzy Livin Project 55 experience to be able to go to YouTube and see themselves in it, right? And so here's an example of some people. You called me from the airport, out of breath, right? But right before my phone rang, I was in front of a very captive audience. All right, I was in front of Swede Boy, I was in front of Jigga J Calcut, I was in front of Jason Hatcher, I was in front of Brother Doug, and I know CJ and Catherine. And I was just telling them about how they should be very excited about meeting who I feel is one of the greatest people I've ever known. I'm like, D-Rex this and D-Rex that, and I can't wait for her to get here. You guys are going to love this girl. Oh, there she is. Oh, speakerphone. Hey, girl, hey. I just pissed myself. And I'm not even gonna finish saying what you said. I let you volunteer. I was like, oh, speaker off, no. And they're all just jaw drops. They're like, oh my God.
I mean, that's the sort of thing I'd announce to a room full of people anyhow, because I'm keeping it real at all times.
This is true. You know, I learned that about you a long time ago, but perfect examples are before we ever went live, and any times when you were picking up pictures of yourself that you wanted to put on thumbnails, or pictures of me, and they're the goofiest, floppiest eyed pictures you ever want to see. Like most girls are like, don't you dare post that of me. And you're like, oh, that one.
That's the one.
Yeah. So I know that you're not on a high horse. We all know that. But that's that resolve, okay? That idea that you've been through worse shit, keep on going. The idea that, you know what, I've been broke before, and this is an opportunity I can't pass up. Or I'm going to have an attitude about my life where I am not going to wake up tomorrow and wish I had done that yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we will, in the very near future, have all of our ducks in a row, I's and T's dotted and crossed, website, web manager, social media people, event
We could use
planners,
help with all of this stuff,
hint, hint,
guys.
wink,
If
wink.
anybody wants
And
to jump in on this project and work with us,
we are
that's how
sharing
I
the
got
wealth.
involved. I just jumped in and here I am.
I'm trying to
So it's
create
that easy.
and look, my girl La Paloma Cutting Homies is going to be coming. Where she said she was. Now she's on
Well,
blast.
why don't you go explain what that is?
La
Not
Paloma
everybody knows.
is the girl that was at the after party a few episodes ago. Go back and watch one of the, I think it was like episode 8, maybe. And she was cutting my hair at the after party. And she is my homie. She's probably my top dog in this city. And next to, of course, Brother Doug. Shout out.
Super, super cool chick.
Love the girl. Love the girl. Her personality was not on display at its finest in that that version of the podcast, only because she was focused on cutting my hair. But she did chime in and chat with Biz a little bit, and she sparkles every time she speaks. But anyway, Paloma is going to come with me in 420 to the canoe trip in April. She's like, I was telling her about you being there, and she's like, man, why didn't you tell me people could go? I'm like, whatever. That's the whole point. She's like, I don't want to go. And so I let her know. I was like, next feasible opportunity for you to come with me is either in December, which, by the way, guys, I could use a cross-country roadmaster with me.
Yes.
So I told her.
Wait, no. Let's dwell on that for a second. He's serious. He really could use a road trip buddy because, first of all, it's going to be an amazing opportunity. If anyone's even on the fence thinking about it, you should jump on this because, first of all, you guys are going to have incredible conversations the whole time. You're going to see amazing landscapes that maybe you've never seen before, you didn't even know existed in the United States. And in exchange for just a little bit of help when he needs it with ramps or whatever, it's like you get to go on the most amazing road trip of your life. So definitely think about it. We are serious when we're talking about this. This is not in passing. We are seriously saying it might be time for your Swede mobile road trip. So when is it? When is it? So people can wrap their head around that.
Well, that depends on when they're available, doesn't it? Because
Okay.
I'm either going to drive myself. We were talking about not having fear and being willing to do things and not being worried about what could possibly come up.
Nobody wants you to do that.
I am going to be leaving here if all goes well. I have school obligations that I cannot leave without tying up, and I like I said, I've paid down some school debts that allows me more time to start paying on larger school debts. That's how you get rid of your credit card debts, pay down the small ones. So now I've got more time to focus on. I've got a couple major lingering issues that I really need to sew up. As soon as I get them sewed up, my target is to be at the Steelers-Panthers game in Charlotte next Sunday, a week from Sunday. So I'll need. So I'm going to be leaving from here, going to Denver, going to Kansas City, going to Nashville, Nashville, and then on to Charlotte. So
who doesn't want to do that?
I am capable of getting in my van and not getting out of my van until I arrive in those places.
I know nobody wants to know or hear about that because we don't want you to do that. But
there's a couple. Can we just speaking of perspective? Let's just shed a couple ideas on the perspective of this. One perspective is worried about my safety and thinking about it's the risk, weighing the risk, do or do not because of risk or risk not. And so thinking about all the things that could possibly go wrong for me on the ride out there. But that's not how I want my road warrior to look at this. I want my road warrior to look at this, think about all the amazing shit I'm going to see on the way and all the things I have to do when I get there. It's not.
It really is going to be amazing.
It's not an option for me to not go because I know of all the amazing experiences I'm going to have. So if anyone is interested in having some of those experiences with me,
you know what? I feel like we need a banner for this. So Tasha does not want you to do that, she says.
If you are interested in getting busy living with me next week, around about this time next week, hello@gitbizzyLivin.com, or hit me on my DMs, and you could possibly, and there's a lot of places where you can jump back off if you want to fly out to Phoenix and just ride with me to Denver, which for my money is the most beautiful drive I've ever done, from Phoenix to Denver through Moab. And then you want to jump on a plane in Denver and fly home, so be it. If you want to meet me in Denver and ride along, so be it. Hey, look, we don't have the dough right now to pay for the airfare and stuff like that for you yet, but this is the reason I want you guys to be thinking about getting on the recurring donations list at hswa.org. Just $1 a month. And if we have enough people that are just giving $1 a month, when I have an offer like this, then somebody volunteers, we will have the money to fly you out.
That adds up. It adds up.
And that's what I hope people understand about the mission of the Git Bizzy Livin project is. We're trying to appeal to the people that have been generous to me in the past, ask them to continue to be generous in a way of $1 a month, and so that we can build up these funds so that we can help people that really need it. And let's talk about somebody that really needs it.
Mm-hmm.
So we are hopeful to have my boy Mez and my girl Lori on to talk about Schaefer, but we have their permission. If time doesn't permit for them to be a part of this, we have their permission to talk about their son Schaefer.
Yeah, why don't you, do you want to check on that first? Because I would like to chime in that after our trip to Florida, which was really outside of the box for me, that trip, first of all, with all the air travel going wrong and leaving on Thanksgiving. I've never done that before. Traveling over Thanksgiving was especially crazy. When I slept on the Vegas airport next to the ketchup smashed in the rug, I was like, this is different, and then meeting all these really great people and making all these new friends and seeing things I've never seen before. It really strengthened my resolve that when I came back, that the Help Swede Walk Again organization can start pursuing grants and growing and start fulfilling its mission of bringing stem cells to the people that need them. Do you want to talk just very quickly about the Help 10 and what that entails?
Absolutely. So a couple of years ago, we did a fundraiser that was the Life and Year of Swedism's book. And the goal of the Life and Year of Swedism's book fundraiser was to raise enough money to help me get stem cells. And that's what my audience has been originally interested in. But since then, I've founded a nonprofit organization where our mission is to help others. And I believe that by helping others, the collateral effects will then thus I'll benefit in some way. But the point is that the mission of the Help Swede Walk-In organization is to help change the mindset of the American public and the world public about stem cells, because these stem cells can help. They can help erase pharmacology altogether almost. Maybe I'm not saying the right word, pharmacology. They can help lessen the impact and the need for the pharmaceutical industry and stop with all the side effects. I believe wholly in my heart that stem cells are as significant to the human race as fire. I believe that in my heart.
That's a big statement.
My nonprofit consultant said, Swede, he said, most of the time in my 400 nonprofits that I've helped in my day and having run $100 million budgets, I've mostly had to tell people to think bigger. How can you scale up? He's like, you're one of the first people I've ever met that already has an idea on something that has the worldwide impact potential. And so we are going to try to change the way it's legislated. We are going to try to change the access that the American and the world public has to stem cells by educating our audience and by raising money to help people with stem cells. So originally the mission was to help me, but now the mission is to help others. And so the way that works is the original fundraiser, and it's still ongoing, is by going to the hswa.org, THEHSWA.org, and or gitbizzyLivin.com, GITBIZZYLIVIN.com. You can reserve a copy that's $25 or more, goes towards reserving you a copy of the Life and Year of Swedism's book, which is a product of that we came up with a few years back with my confidants that helped save my life, about my prior Facebook posts and the stories I've written. So by reserving a copy of the Life and Year of Swedism's book, $25 or more, once we get 2,000 copies, all right, we're going to ship to you guys. We're going to pull a name out of that hat, and whoever's name out of those first 2,000 reservations we choose, you're going to get you plus one, airfare included, all expense paid, adventurous Alaska tour with the Wolf Scooty Wells. We're going to bring you to Alaska for 6 nights and 7 days and do whatever you want there. So when we pull your name out of the hat, we're shipping all 2,000 copies of the books to everyone that's reserved a copy. And we're going to put you in touch with the Wolf. And then he's going to ask you, how do you want to do Alaska? Do you want to stay on the train or the bus? Or do you want to get out and into the mountains and onto the rivers and onto the glaciers? Do you want to see bears? Do you want to catch fish? However you want to do it, Scooty Wells can do it for you. And then at that point, we are going to have enough generated enough revenues to help someone receive a stem cell treatment. And so I'd like to welcome everybody. Please help me welcome Miss Lori Mezzacapo to the house.
Nice. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hello. How are you?
Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you, Lori.
Yes,
Thank you
too.
so much, Lori, for coming.
You're
We were
welcome.
just talking about our mission to raise money
Sorry.
to help people that have ailments that there is peer-reviewed, verified studies proving that stem cells can help you. Okay, look, stem cells can help everybody. All right, but if you can go and you can bring to us a peer-reviewed study saying that you have an ailment and this study shows that stem cells can help you, then you are our target audience. And so, Lori, would you mind just first of all taking a little bit of time to introduce yourself,
Swede.
tell us how we know each
Swede,
other?
don't touch your keys anymore. They're driving my ears crazy.
It's my necklace.
No, it's him.
Oh, okay.
It's that guy.
Yeah, stop fidgeting.
Yeah,
I was blocking my Steelers symbol anyway.
Thank
Oh
God.
my goodness. Okay, yeah.
So, Lori,
okay,
tell
go
everybody
on,
how we
Lori.
met.
Years ago, I was married to Phil and friends with him, and then you're friends with Brian. So it's been a long time. Yeah, many years.
Yes, and that's part of the reason that this is so heartwarming, because Mez is one of my first fearsome fivesomes. Me and him, Fatty Roach, and Jay Brown ran around town like we were chickens with our heads cut off. And you know, when we started talking about stem cells, and you chimed in to one of the podcast episodes a few months back or weeks back, and let us know that you believe that Shafe would be a good candidate. And since we've talked, I have no doubt in my mind that we can help you. So why don't you tell everyone about?
I don't think you introduced who we're talking about, actually.
So yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lori. Let's tell us about you and Mez. You guys have a son.
Yes, we have a son. I've known Mez for a million years. I used to cut his hair and whatnot, and then we had lovely Schaefer. And when we had our sonogram, like the 20-week one, they told us there was some like abnormalities with his brain. There was fluid on his brain, that all these crazy things, like horrible, horrible things they told us, because they have to tell us the good, the bad, the ugly. And then he's born in Pittsburgh and everything looks good. It's not fluid, that his ventricles are just larger. And he had some neonatal seizures and some things like that. So, this is the older one behind it. So as he's been growing, we have to learn what his abilities are and what abilities he doesn't have. So gross motor has been not great, but as he's getting older, it's doing better. So anything with a brain, they just lump into an umbrella of cerebral palsy, which is much easier for insurance. And because if I said cerebral ventriculomegaly and all these crazy things, nobody would have a clue. So, but yeah, I'm just learning him. So learning him as he gets older and all that. So,
Would you mind if we showed a video of him?
No, go right ahead.
This is so sweet. I was watching these videos earlier, and I don't even know how I'm going to watch this without tearing up. Maybe you can explain what we're seeing while we watch this, okay?
Yes. So this one is at his therapy, and he never walked. I mean, he doesn't walk unassisted. So with the cane, he was trying, and he was doing it. But that's with low muscle tone. Those are really, really hard things to do for him. Just to balance and stand by himself. Oh, this is just him being crazy.
Oh my God, I love
he wants
this.
to dance and he wants to do all the things other kids do with TikTok and all the crazy stuff. So, yeah.
That had me, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, grips me.
Yeah. This is today, which was a
Today?
shock. Today, yeah, this is the first time he's ever walked with crutches by himself. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that
Amazing.
was crazy to watch. Yeah. And that first video with the first cane, it was probably 2 years ago. So he's going to be 6 in January. So that was probably when he was about 4. So yeah, it's been a journey for sure. He teaches me all kinds of strengths.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
when I saw the video, the first video where he was learning to use the crutches,
Yeah.
man, I couldn't believe like the determination that I saw, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because sometimes you meet adults who have just about everything going for them and they just can't get up again, you know? And I
Yeah.
just watched this kid get up again, just like, I'm doing this. And that's
Yeah.
kind of actually what inspired this entire topic for us.
Mhm. Yeah, every day is just he just keeps doing more and more and more. And when I tell him take a break, like his legs will just give out and he'll just fall out and he just won't stop. He just keeps going.
Oh.
Hey, Jamie, thank you for showing up to the Git Bizzy Livin podcast. It'd be great to see you. I haven't seen you in forever. But if you're interested in chiming in about, you got some Schaefer stories,
Yeah.
please
Jane, get on here.
go ahead and follow that
Help me
link.
out.
There's a link at the
Mhm.
top of the comments that you can follow. And that link will take you to how you can become a guest of the show, just like Lori is. And it'll bring you into us, seeing us backstage. And once we see you pop up, we'd love to have you come in and talk about Schaefer and let us know what it's been like to see someone such as Lori, who is showing so much resolve, and the fact that you had the nerve to talk to me about Schaefer itself. It takes courage to ask for help, and it takes
Yeah.
some real moral virtues. To me, are strong. I spent a lot of time raising my own child, and we've had many conversations about moral virtues, and they get questioned when you have real adversity like you were facing when you found out that Shafe wasn't going to have a cakewalk life. That takes courage to get up each day and keep pushing, but then to come to the point where you are and to say, I want to keep on trying, to keep on improving and pursuing and having, an opportunity to give my son a more purposeful life. So the fact that you are willing to go and invite us on this journey with you, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because
You're welcome. And thank you for thinking of us.
You have my word that I will exhaust all avenues in an effort to try to help you. And so I've done a lot of research. And so once we kick off the Git Bizzy Livin podcast season 1, and we've got opportunity to bring some experts on to be able to talk with you and talk with our audience about how stem cells can possibly, we can always say possibly help, help him. I'm looking forward to giving our audience hope and courage to also volunteer, because there's more than one. There's a lot of others out there that stem cells can help. And so that's why we want you to know that if you go to the hswa.org and you can click on join the party. Okay. And by going to the join the party, you have an opportunity to either do a one-time donation or to do recurring donations. If you want to help the ongoing mission, you're welcome to choose a smaller amount and just choose a recurring donation. Or you can go in there and because, as we already admitted earlier, we're still in search of someone that's willing to help us with the website. It's not a professionally done website yet, but we'd like you to be able to click on the larger amounts and choose, a full stem cell treatment. If you got dough like that, which a lot of us do, throw some dough at us and help us, get Schaefer in front of the people that really can help him. So, Lori, are you yourself familiar with stem cells and how they work in any way, or what's your from a common person's perspective? What is your knowledge at this point about stem cells?
Honestly, I don't know much. My oldest son, told me some things. He's a fact person. He knows little about everything. He does his research, but the controversy, I know about that, whether it's, good and, a lot of people don't like it for certain reasons, but I don't know much. And then when I heard you talking about it for you, and like, yes, your things aren't the same, but similar to where you have a disconnect somewhere, from your brain to your legs to your arms to everything. Like, you know, that is just what intrigued me. And that's why I asked you, you know, is it even something that can be considered because he had it before birth? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, it's not something, an accident that happened. It's just something that, you know, it's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, can I share your is it TikTok that you post his videos
Oh
on?
gosh. Yeah, absolutely. I got full permission to share whatever.
Okay, what is your handle there? I'm going to put it up on the
Oh
screen.
gosh. Help me.
Help me.
My daughter. Because and Schaefer always has my phone, so there's a million pictures of like his face just like bobbing in the camera and him dancing with his sister and stuff. What is it?
That's so
Oh,
cool.
it's just at my name. It's just at Lori
Okay.
Colonna.
With and no space or anything.
So,
No.
Laura, you may be able to see in
Okay.
the comments, we've got Christy and Jamie. Listen, ladies, if you
yeah,
are interested in
can't
joining
see.
us, if you're interested in
Oh,
joining
thank
us, go. Okay, Jamie, scroll up to the top of the comments in the YouTube, and actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and post it here. So you can click on this link here.
I know my camera's
And
over
I'll put it in
here.
the comments. And what that link will do is it's going to open up your browser on your phone and take you to the website where you can join us in backstage, and then we'll bring you right on. And you're welcome to to chime in and let us know, what your experience with Shafe's been like. And so to give you guys a little bit of an information, look, I'm going to save the real education episodes for the experts, but stem cells, there's a reason they call them stem cells. They have a stem, right? They're the stem of the cells that repair your body. So if you have injuries, salamanders can grow entire body back, right? So when you have an injury, stem cells go to the site of the injury and they become whatever your body needs. So like they can form into new muscle tissues and new bone tissues and new anything tissues, to be quite frank. So they were just now getting to the point where they're starting to hit market saturation and people are learning about stem cells. But for the past couple decades, when stem cells were first discovered, or actually I don't know the accurate history about how they were introduced to the public, but there's been a lot of stigma over the years about stem cells because the one of the places that you can mine them or harvest them, if you will, from infants. Unborn infants is where they were first discovered, because they were discovered for obvious reasons. They were looking for what cells were these infants going to use to make their body, right? So now we know that stem cells can be harvested just like we harvest apples and oranges. Literally that easy. Theoretically, I say literally and theoretically.
Right.
Look, the technology needs to be in place, but once it's there, once the farm is built, the oranges grow, right? Same with the stem cells. So I foresee a future where we all have the right to use our own stem cells, and we have the technology to harvest them ourselves. So look, it's not far off, okay? And so that's why I believe so firmly that there's a time when instead of having 55 pills, that we actually have, just 55 containers in our refrigerator by our nightstand that has different kind of stem cells we might need for whatever it is. Look, it's not science fiction, guys. There was a time when we were talking about flying cars and about teleporting, and now we can literally fly cars and almost teleport. So there's really truth to this, that stem cells can have an impact on humans just like fire did. We can literally get to the point where we are living forever.
Well, I don't know if I want to do that.
Right. Well, that's why I call them the fountain of youth. So I noticed that we got Jamie backstage, so we're going to bring her on, Jamie, and give her an opportunity to tell us a little bit about what her experiences have been like with Schaefer. Hey, girl. Hey.
What's up?
Hey. You're welcome, Lori.
Thank you.
What do you want to know about this big guy? What do you want to know about him?
Explain your comment why everybody always needs Schaefer time.
And I think you'll probably have to find a quieter place so she can hear us. But I'm going to put this video up of him.
Sorry, the Rams
while
game is on. Sorry, the Rams game is on.
Yeah, we're competing with football right now.
Schaefer, I was there when he was born. And I immediately told her he had red hair. And she didn't believe me.
He's so adorable.
She did not believe me. She's like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, he's going to be a ginger. Like, that was the first thing I said. Schaefer time means you get love. He's the most loving, care. He's just nobody. He does not even like think he has a disability. I don't think.
No, I don't think he. Yeah,
he doesn't realize it. Like he's just a little bit behind on other kids, but his mind is all there for sure. We painted last week and he told us he was going to Bob Ross it up.
I love that. I love that. Oh my
he
God.
can turn it. Yeah.
Where do
Any
you
bad
learn
day
this
good.
stuff? Like,
You know,
But-
I think look at this guy. I mean, if we can all just for a second just look at this kid trying his best just to do what so many of us did naturally and take
Naturally,
for
yeah.
granted. And it's just amazing to see this. And I think that this is the sort of thing that is going to help us realize like how good it's going to feel to help people with these stem
I should
cells,
also
you
mention
know?
that he's a Browns fan.
Oh Lord, who's winning the game? Who's winning
What?
the game? Because I can't even see.
Yes,
look at my
yes,
TV right
Swede. He's a Browns fan. Both of his
Yeah.
godparents are Browns fans.
This is blasphemy.
now. He's never.
I
gonna
remember.
He'll never
I
be
remember-
a Steeler fan. Ever.
I remember walking in to school one day back, probably 1992. And Kiro Dimitrovsky comes walking up to us. And he's like, "Yeah, how about them Browns, man? Yeah." And so because the Browns had just beat the Steelers, me and Fatty and Mez were walking down the hallway, and Kiro coming up running his chops, and Mez was like, "Wow, shut your mouth about the Steelers." Mez punched Kiro in the face over bragging about the Steelers.
Oh.
Well, I'm not
And
going to
his
try to
son is
I'm
a
not going to
Browns
try to
fan?
run Mez under the rug, but he does watch Browns games with his son.
Watch
So
Browns games. Yeah,
How
he
is
bought
I
him
don't
a
know.
hat. Yeah.
Well, regardless of
Yep.
any football team alliance, I think it would be amazing to try to help Schaefer. He just looks like he's going to be an amazing adult. He's already
And the
an
stuff-
amazing kid.
so
And
wise
they
beyond his
offer-
years.
Yeah, but the stuff they offer for even kids, like honestly, until you're 18, you have like a whole plethora of doctors and therapists and everybody, but they want to do Botox in his feet. They want to do baclofen, which is a muscle relaxant, and all these crazy things. And I put no, like my kid takes magnesium, supplements. Like I'm not going to do that to him,
Mm.
and there's just there's nothing else besides all this medication and shots in his feet. Like I can't imagine doing it,
Well,
so
I love that you're bringing that aspect up because look, the Git Bizzy Livin podcast, we're taking trips once a month and we want you guys to come with us, but we're trying to change lives here.
That's
So
a
some
temporary fix. The shots
some
are
people-
a temporary fix, and it's painful
Yeah.
to
give
children.
me my drink.
When you're young, the possibilities of getting helped are increasingly higher.
Oh, it's amazing how many
Right.
specialists. Yeah.
But the issue is that all this help is coming from a profit-driven system where they are
Money, money, money.
They are interested in plugging you into a system that makes you, and they don't want to fix you completely. They don't want to
Oh,
fix you
no.
completely. They want to just plug you in so that you're an ongoing
Mhm.
paycheck for them. Okay.
Of course.
Look,
Yeah.
no disrespect to those of you that are doctors that are a part of the system. No disrespect to any individual, but I don't think it's any secret that the wheels are coming off. All right. And so what we're trying to do here with the Git Bizzy Livin podcast is I came from literally a pile of rubble and I am walking gratitude. And I want to be able to give back on a level of impact that I have personally been impacted by all of you that have chipped in to help me. And so in my obsessive amounts of research, in my inordinate amount of obsession when it comes to helping and trying to give back,
Oh, Christy's on.
that's
Sorry.
Yeah, she is. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. One of my really good friends, Christy, just got on. Yeah.
Okay, we have the ability to keep on keeping on and bringing more in. So by all means, bring them in. I want,
You know,
I
Swede,
just
do you want
wanted
to do the
say,
after party today?
I feel like we're
Oh.
just partying along right now. That's
Okay. Should I just start it? Should the after party start?
Are you guys ready to party with us at the Git Bizzy Livin
Sure,
podcast?
Yeah.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Hell
Say,
yeah.
oh look, this is
Jay,
really
quit
this
moving.
is so much fun. So much fun. Because look, this is serious. I want to create a community where we are all chipping in a little bit. All it takes is $1 a month. Go to hswa.org, get on the recurring guest list, $1 a month. We're create a community where everybody's giving a little bit. So guys like this and guys and girls like you that are witnessing to this all have an opportunity to have a little bit more in your life, to get a little bit busier living. Okay. We want to help you with the mindset. We want to help you with the money too, but that's all going to come from viewership. We hope to grow the YouTube channel large enough so that we're earning revenues from YouTube. So you got to watch. All you got to do is watch and then subscribe, like, so that you get notified and you can tune in when we're on, and we can grow this pot so that portions of the proceeds are going to go to 3 different things. We're going to helping you guys get on these vacations with us. So even if you're not a Schaefer, and even if you don't have one in your household that could really use our help, you can be helped by portions of the proceeds are going to go to bringing you guys on these trips with us. Number 2, we're going to go towards throwing the huge party at the end, which is my vow to you after I asked for your help and you acquiesced. And then number 3 is helping guys like Schaefer, helping. There's no one that we can't help in that way, but specifically people like him that didn't come out of the womb with a fair shake. You don't have to be born needing help to get our help. You just need to be genuinely into helping yourself. And that means you have to be conscious of your own health. If you're out there banging drugs and you're out there, if you're not doing what you can to help yourself, I'm sorry, we're going to go pick somebody that is. That means eating right. That means living right. And that means actually trying to do your part to help yourself. And then you just need us to come in and give you the boost. Right. And so when you see these videos, Diana, would you mind showing those videos of Shafe again?
Sure. I'd love to watch it again.
If you can come,
Swede, you have to put I put him on Facebook a lot. I'm not always on TikTok, but like you said, with the like and follow and share. The one night I was putting Schaefer to bed and he told me, he goes, "Mom, like, follow, and subscribe," or like, follow, and share. And I go, "What are you talking about?" Because he's always on YouTube. So like, we got to get that out there, got to get that out there for on Facebook and Instagram. And so people will see it.
If you have access to that and you can share it with us, we would love to,
Okay.
Because
can I just try
what you wish for?
I want to chime in 1 second that,
Yeah.
it's like we were talking about one week about the butterfly effect.
Shut up, Lindsay.
That's my best friend.
So the butterfly effect is like the effect of one butterfly's wing. Eventually, it sets off a chain of events that creates a hurricane, right? And I mean, when you're helping one person, and if it's Schaefer, right, you think you're helping Schaefer, but you're helping everybody who loves him and supports him, and it changes all of those people's lives.
Amen.
And you don't know how far that can go. And it's really exciting to think about that.
Sorry, Lori, under the bus.
What is happening?
It's very hard for Lori
we
to
lost
trust
her.
people with him.
Around. Move out of that area. Hello?
I think we need to.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, hello?
We lost you for a second. You might need to say that again.
Okay.
Oh, now she's muted. Okay, hold on. All right.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Start over.
Lori, I'm throwing you under the bus.
We might want to mute you.
Brianna Rose, don't make me throw you under a bus.
Hey, no animosity line. This is not.
I'm just kidding. Lori has a very hard time accepting help from outside sources because she is so concerned about his care, and she has a village that takes care of him, but I know for her, him going to kindergarten and stuff was super hard on both
Torture.
of them, you know,
Yeah, that was
and
torture. Yeah.
and she's doing a lot better with it. Part of me thinks that the mom doesn't like the independence that he's getting, but you know, she's also
Yeah.
very stern with him, and she treats him like all of her children. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter physicality. It doesn't matter anything. Like, he talks back. He's nasty. Like,
And he
It's my
crawls
mess.
really,
My
he crawls
mess.
really fast. He could crawl so fast. Like, he's
he
active,
does
yeah.
bear crawls. He could beat a varsity D1 football team in bear crawls. No doubt in my mind.
That's awesome. Christy says,
But
yes, she does. She's talking about you, Lori.
I know,
So,
I
like I
know.
was saying earlier, it does take some courage to be open to receiving help.
I'm
And
glad she's doing it.
we're just a few real strong shakes into this Git Bizzy Livin project and to this entire podcast in general. But like I said earlier, at this point right now, he is our prime focus as far as trying to generate the revenues that we're going to need to be able to make a difference in his life. Okay, so for those of you that might be curious about where the monies that you donate might go, it's like I said, we already talked about how we're going to divvy up the proceeds. The portions that are going to go towards Schaefer, first of all, we need to get him in front of our doctors, right? So we need to get him out here, right? And then we need to take seriously what things you can be doing at home that could better prepare him for the stem cells, because we want his body to be as wide open as possible for those stem cells when he gets them, right? So that all comes with education, and that all costs. And so we want to get you in front of the doctor so he can identify a care plan for him, give you guys time to actually execute it, and if there's multiple visits, and then once it comes time to actually administer the stem cells, how we can help, what we can do for him, that's all going to be determined, at a future date when we get him in front of a doctor. But right now, you guys can understand that once we go live with our reproduced website, there's going to be the ability to see the transparency of the Git Bizzy Livin podcast and project, so you know what monies we received, where the monies have been spent, as far as what we're delegating towards Schaefer and what we're delegating towards getting you guys on the vacations with us, and what money we're putting aside to be able to throw the huge party. All these things are a part of a huge elaborate plan that are going to come out in time, and it'll be a lot easier for you to wrap your head around the big picture once we get more volunteers and more wind in our sails to be able to really get this thing moving. But at this point right now, I just really want to take a moment seriously to thank both of you guys for having the courage to come on the podcast. Lori, the amount of courage it takes for you to be willing to allow Schaefer to be, our first object of affection is immense. And I'm really, really thankful for that. And like I said, you have my word. I don't quit. And so
we know. We know.
And that's why I'm so dedicated to throwing the huge party, because I gave my word back then that if you guys help me out of that jam, I'd throw the party. And so that's my life mission. And part of the purpose of this podcast is to spread the word about how I was impacted, and how I want to encourage those of you that helped me to continue to help, so that we can have more impact the way that I've impacted on people like Schaefer. So that's really the scale that this can reach. The number of people that we can help
I'm with Lori 100%, whatever she wants.
Yeah. And honestly, when I talked to you about it, I never in a million years thought, maybe like this can be a big thing, or like he could get the help he needs. I was honestly just inquiring and like getting all the education that I possibly could, because I know Jamie knows from the second I knew he was going to have, some brain issues and a disconnect there. I went into, I'm not his mom. Like, I am all books. Like, I can talk about all of it, but
but you were but you had a trauma before that too, though, that made you that way.
Yeah. It's crazy though. The brain is a crazy freaking thing. I tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what? I'm 100% with you. I'll go wherever. I'll travel wherever.
Yeah, he's down to travel. Schaefer loves to go anywhere.
Well, I'm looking forward to meeting him. I'm
Yeah, I'm
I'm gonna
excited.
be
Are you coming
I'm
to
gonna be
Erie?
I'm coming to Erie. I'm gonna be there for New Year's. I have not been yet. I'm gonna let things happen as they may. But yeah, so like we were talking about earlier, before you girls joined us,
Mhm.
next week around this time, hopefully I'll get all my schoolwork handled, and then I'm going to go on an adventure across country. It's definitely not advised that I go alone, but at this point,
No,
it's
you
too
shouldn't.
easy an opportunity for me to
Can I
go. I'm not,
ask you? Can I ask you a couple questions?
by all means, I got nothing to hide. What's up?
I know. Are you paralyzed from the waist down?
I'm paralyzed from my collarbone below. So if you were to put your hands out to your side and point
Uh-huh.
your thumbs straight to the ground,
Uh-huh.
and then you draw a line from your middle fingers across your body.
Uh-huh.
That straight line from the tip of one middle finger to the tip of the other, to me, is numb. So I have very
It's
little
like, yeah.
sensitivity